The exercise of the week is a landmine squat. Landmine refers to this attachment where we have a barbell inserted into the cylinder attachment on the rack. There are other forms of landmine attachments, but here at the gym, we have these on the base of the rack. Now, in terms of the barbell that you're going to use for this exercise, there's two options. You can use this silver barbell, which weighs 45 pounds, or there is a shorter and slightly thinner barbell that's black that weighs 35 pounds. And if you're not sure how much a barbell weighs, you can always check on the end of the barbell. It will say on there. So in terms of the equipment that I need, I have a barbell and a landmine attachment. We almost always have people elevate their heels when they're doing a squatting pattern because it just generally makes a squat feel better for most people. They're able to stay more upright. And then there's an optional attachment that we like to use. That's this trident attachment. It makes it a more comfortable way to hold the landmine or the barbell when you're squatting with it. So I'm going to show you with this attachment, and then at the end of the video, I'll tell you what to do if you do not have this attachment. So once you have the barbell inserted into the landmine, you're going to stick this attachment on the end of the barbell, and you can just screw it in a little bit so it stays. Now, the key here is to figure out the correct distance that you need to be from the barbell. The first thing I'm going to do is pick up the trident attachment in the barbell and then place it up here high by my throat or base of my neck. Now, I want to have a slight forward lean into the barbell. So I'm going to scooch this beam back just a tad. I'm going to put my heels up here for squatting. And now I've got this forward lean into the barbell just a little bit. You might have to make adjustments once you start moving. I'm going to keep this trident attachment high with my elbows just down by my sides. And all I'm going to do is sit down, sitting my butt just between my heels until I get to whatever depth I want, and then driving up through the floor. Sit down between my heels, drive up through the floor. So the distance I've chosen works pretty well for me. But again, if it doesn't feel right, you can make adjustments. The one thing that you want to be mindful of is that I don't ever want to get in a position where I'm slamming my elbows on my knees, because that puts my wrist in the intersection of a lot of downward force. So being mindful of where your elbows are going to be at as you descend into your squat. So if I can do the barbell pretty easily, then I can begin to add weight to this. So I'll unscrew the attachment and I'm going to add a plate on. What's nice about the landmine squat is that you can get really heavy on these and get a good stimulus from that squat. So I've added a 25-pound plate. I stick that attachment back on. When I'm ready, I'm going to squat down and almost deadlift this bar up. And then once I've got it high enough, I can transition my grip around. I'm elevating my heels. Feet are about shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out. I pin this right at the base of my neck, tight upper back, engaged upper back. Sit down between my heels, stand up. Sit down between my heels, stand up. Now, I mentioned we're not always going to have access to this comfort attachment. So what do you do in that case? Well, pretty simple. You just use the barbell. So now, because I don't have the attachment on, I'm going to have to get a little bit closer here to the barbell. Now I'm going to split my hands, grab the barbell. Again, I'm still going to deadlift it up, but then I'm going to transition my grip around. I'm a little far away here. Scoot that beam forward. Okay, here we go. I have this barbell. My hands are stacked, one in front of the other. Elbows are pinned in. I've got my upper back engaged. And again, all I'm going to do is sit down and stand up. Sit down between my heels, push the ground down to stand up. That's how you would do it without the landmine attachment. Now, one of the harder parts when you begin to get really heavy with something like this is actually lifting the landmine up into a position. So there's a couple things you can do. If you've got a friend with you, you can ask them to come here and help you lift the landmine up as you get set up for your position. We do not have any specific stands that are designed to support the landmine. The other option is you could bring a bench over from the very beginning. And set the bar on the bench. Sorry about the noise. Okay. Set the bar on the bench, and now I've got it elevated a little bit, which makes it easier to pick up and get into that position. But either way, if you've not done landmine squats before, give them a go. It's a really nice variation. You can get heavy. It feels like a little bit of a different stimulus. You've got a lot of stability because you're pressing against something that's connected to the rack. Have fun.